4.
Is it 4? Okay,
Four
so it's 4 different
different
times. I don't even know. It's unbelievable the talent that exists, obviously, in terms of one side. Then you look at, okay, it's like, okay, we have one lineup. Okay, they're pretty talented. Oh, we have Aiden and Innocence who are going to be facing off against them as well. So this should be a very fun match to watch.
Yeah, and I'm really excited as well to see Aiden and Innocence. This was my top pick, or at least one of my top picks as of last week. And like I said, we didn't get an opportunity to see them, but Clicks, he's going to get dropped. Myth just down to a minuscule amount of health, about 5, as Neo tilted. Looks like it might be the resting place, and Myth will get dropped himself.
Wow.
You notice the amount of engagements that are currently on the map. There's going to be 16, so that is going to be enough for Aiden and Clicks to take a nice size lead. And already looking at Aiden's perspective.
They're dropping right now on a new team. Looks like an entire fight. They're going to try third party out here. Already taking out those builds, the fall damage. You knew that was going to take him down to a small amount of HP, wiping him down that first knock. Aiden's ready to break into that box, and they're just going to do business as usual here. Taking down the second player. Third one also cleaned up there by Innocent. So making quick work of this new rotation here, and they are flying high right now.
Yeah. Especially moving forward in the bracket is the fact that Aiden and Innocence are putting up numbers such as this. They're going to get a couple more before this game is over, but these are the types of numbers that you need to beat any team on this bracket. So any team that faces them in the future is going to have their hands full.
Yeah, you're expecting, you need to make sure that both your players come in. When you have to go against a team that has at least 20 points, that the worst part is you have to make sure that you're keeping up with your duo in a sense. You don't want to always feel like that weakest link in a sense.
Absolutely, and it looks as if Innocence right now, backside of the Storm, just coming on him, takes quite a bit of fall damage, but still is trying to hold strong, losing a few of his builds, but his confidence is not wavering as of yet. Firing away, takes one down. And like we talked about, a beast on the sticks. Innocence and Aiden make a wonderful combo, not just because they obviously are both on Ghost, not just because they're both playing together, but because they also have that kind of controller synergy. They played with each other in the past. They know their kind of play styles and how similar that they work. And like I said, it's going to be a victor royale. What we see 15 from Aiden. I didn't remember exactly how many
10.
Innocence had, but he's at least in double digits. So.
Yeah, I didn't like that drop either. You could see Myth struggling to find any good loot right there, and he's pretty much stuck right in that hot zone. But as we switch on over now to see exactly where Clicks is going to come out here, try and make his way through that doorway, but teammate going down quickly and able to get cleaned up on that instance right there. So back to where Myth dropped. He was dropping there to try and get some quick kills, but I mean, there was really nobody there within range. He was finding really bad loot. Even now, his loot isn't really that excellent. So I'm assuming he's going to at least try to best these players and see what they came up with on their drop. And he already does connect with a nice shot here. Doesn't seem like he has anybody coming up to his side. He already has one down with that high point advantage, looking to build back up, but instead dropping down. I think he only has this one-on-one to worry about. Make that a 2-on-1 as one is still healing up his teammate right there, but lets the other one go. No time to help that one. He did drop a double barrel there, which is the unvaulted weapon for the day. No time to even scoop that up, as he is just going to W key, try and force this push, and
I think
looks
he fell.
like
he fell.
Yeah,
he
okay.
Fell. Oh no!
He even little slip right there on the side.
Okay.
Could not hang. I mean, when you lose a build battle to yourself, what else can you say about that? Trying to avoid Myth.
Get a big play coming in from Myth, because obviously, like we know, in terms of pressure point in relation to Salty Springs, he's going to have to make somewhat of a jaunt, as he does take at least another down. Still has yet to kind of pick up the double barrels that exist on this map, and his focus might be toward the future. I got to say, that's kind of unfortunate considering the loot that was dropped. He picks off a number of different players, but maybe just not wanting the weapon, not wanting to kind of rock with it as of this time.
Allowing these eliminations that's, Myth is going for to potentially go out of your hands. So I think going for these elims is probably a much smarter idea. I gotta say, pressure was more fruitful than I thought it was. 5 elims from that and a couple more over at Sunny, but rotating out, probably going to reach a little impasse. So there's not gonna be a lot of players, so I'm kind of worried about that rotation. But with that being said, Myth playing very well, and you got to be thinking if that first game wasn't as lopsided as it was, Myth and Clicks, they've been looking pretty solid.
Yeah, he has to pretty much throw the team on his back right now, stay alive as long as he possibly can, and as much as he's been fighting, 6 kills, landing in that hot spot, still doesn't have any weapons that are really too devastating at this point. I mean, but he's doing all the work in the world right now, doesn't need anything as far as a loadout goes, besides that pump and that SMG. He also has a rotational tool still remaining if he does need to get out of dodge here with that Shadow Bomb. He's waiting to find that follow-up shot on the player, and he already knew how low HP that player was. Finishes off before he counter-builded. Either was out of mats completely, like Myth is, or wasn't able to react in time. Either way,
But with that being said, Fatal has a couple of players, as you see, already in it. We're going to see Aiden and Innocence kind of come into the mix. But you'll have those players, who just went over Fatal. You have the players who are rotating from Lucky. So not a bad rotation. And I got to say, this player down below, he's going to get a couple of hits onto Aiden, but he'll immediately focus attention up ahead. Innocence from the back to get the sandwich. He's going to get that elim, and that's going to be another 2. A close call for Aiden, but he comes out virtually unscathed.
Still him and his teammate remaining, still slaying out and doing well. But on Myth right now at Mega Mall, still fighting for his life right now and maintaining his ability to stay alive for the time being. He's able to take out one, but as he drops down, the teammate from that player coming in hot to try and pursue, down to 26 HP, and now just using one of those mini shields he has. So still trying to reposition himself, throw off exactly where he is posting up right now to get those shields. Look at the trap going down. Oh, and at the last second before he can get around the doorway, he gets not only clipped by that gun, but also possibly clipped on stream as that man laughed in his face as he wipes out Myth for that game.
Oh, man, that's...
And it's refreshing to see it kind of back at least for one day. I wouldn't want it permanently back, but at least, back here for the 14 days of summer. Pretty good to see. Let's see what Benjifish can do.
Yeah, it's pretty much just for today. The double pump is back in the game if you really want to look at it that way. If you use that gun, especially when you're in a one-buy, it is super effective. With these two teams though fighting out, you can see a lot of them trying to at least see what's going to happen around Tilted. Not much going on, so they have to make the rotation out here. And this is always interesting when both teams are in the exact same location. It's basically a race right now to see who can slay out. One player already down, and now
attack and maybe the the drum shotgun maybe go hand in hand. But with that being said, I think it's one of the worst shotguns out there.
I mean, I fully expect one of the next updates in the next few weeks to kind of address that situation with how many shotguns are in the game. I expect them to vault one of them, if not 2 of them, but probably one for at least right now. There's just constant people just talking about this situation on Reddit, and I remember this being an issue with the snipers as well. People were complaining. I think at one point there was, I want to say, like 5 snipers in the game.
There's a lot.
Then they took out the hunting rifle, which was unfortunately one of my favorite ones to use because it was the most skillful one in my opinion at the stage with no scope. And now
get involved. Terracon was giving his overall rankings. Let us know in the 5 shotguns that are currently in the game, where do you rank them? I'm curious. Like we said as well, $10,000 to be given away. Mr. Beast, I know, shout out for being so involved with Friday Fortnite, wanting to keep it alive and doing a fantastic job at it. I know he's going to be choosing one random viewer to give $10,000 to. So let us know throughout the day. It's going to be happening. I think we'll announce it kind of toward the grand finals. Let us know when it's going to be happening, or rather how you think that you deserve. But getting back to the gameplay really quick, I know that replays has fallen just prior to that. Mr. Savage has as well. Nick A30 quickly silences a Demogorgon and may have to try to go for the reboot card here shortly, but there are still ones just on the outskirts of these builds trying to take down a ramp, wanting to get those back in his favor, going for the quick edits, looking for the loot. However, has to be super aware with that zone. The Storm beginning to move in, going for the quick edits, nearly hits the foot, and tries to make it land, but down to low HP. He doesn't have any immediate medkit weapons and has to try to go build. No, no. Oh, no. Can he get through this? Oh, my gosh.
The slipstream saved him.
Nick A30 just managed to survive. What in the world was that? Oh, my gosh. I don't know how that was possible. Unfortunately, replays can't come along for the ride, but it is a 1v1 and allows for Nick A30 and co to still be alive for the time. And there goes Benjifish dropping. Now, there are 9 players alive. Nick A30 a sliver amount of health. And oh my God, that's a massive upset for sure.
That is huge because, I mean, obviously Benjifishy and Mr. Savage got taken out right there. I'm not sure how it would have changed things if they saw Nick A30 go down, but man, him coming out of that fight with 3 HP and then hitting the builds when he goes for the launch pad, still surviving when he hits that slipstream. I mean, how much had to go right for him right there?
This is all pre-recorded. Nothing is live anymore. It's all simulated. No, okay, let's totally get away from that conversation. I know what Twitch chat is capable of. At least I like to think that I do. Winners bracket, like we talked about, we are officially in winners round 2. Obviously kind of cut in half already. Quite a few of our teams are down in the losers bracket trying to make their way through. So they're going to be in the gauntlet. But in terms of the teams that still have 2 lives left, any matchups we're looking out for in terms of ones that are going to be kind of interesting. I'm excited to see, obviously, how Ninja and FaZe Sway can do. Taylor, you were referencing it, right? A very slow start to their matchup versus Vicstar and the Burnt Chip. However, it looks as if in that game, too, they did manage to recover and move on to that winner's round, next winner's round, excuse me, to face off now against Gubba and Gorb, of which we've got to watch a few of those guys play in the past. We've also got teams like FaZe Benny and FaZe Diggy making it on to face off against Connor Ball and David Myler. And a few other ones as well, kind of ones of interest, which I'm actually really excited to see this. Just bracket update, Elevate and Valkyrie Ray did take down Los Pollos and Mopey in their first game since they got a bye. I'm excited really quickly to find out what's going on with FaZe Rain and FaZe Tico, because they had a phenomenal placement last week. I think it was around like the top 6 region, somewhere around there. And I just didn't really know, because we haven't really got an opportunity to watch them in Friday Fortnite in the past, what their Fortnite skill was going to look like. What is their ceiling exactly? And I feel like they're going to be pretty well tested when it comes down to Academics and Destroy. If they were to make that one throughout, though, then they have Elevate and Valkyrie Ray to face off against. So I'm kind of interested in terms of a few games that we got going on.